Full. Okay, thanks, Mel. All right, I want to bring on Serena. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Serena, you just joined CCC, right?
I did.
Super excited to have you here and get to know you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be continuing on in the community,
Yay.
especially given my share.
Okay, oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear.
So coming into, and I created a video for you guys that ended up being like a 16-minute video, but I outlined everything, which I've done for this too, to keep myself focused, my ADHD brain like on track. So coming into the Get Yourself Together challenge, I was in a downward spiral. And I think was it Coach Kath that shared earlier? She was kind of in the same similar position. Um, and I hadn't done any revenue generating activities in my business since last fall. So it had been like we're now in May, so probably 6+ months since I'd done anything, which is really bad. And so I signed up for the challenge and came into it really excited to be in a community and to be around a bunch of people and so appreciating all the neurodivergence and all the colors and all the fun and the dressing up and the dance, just all the things, the dancing and all the stuff. And on Sunday when I showed up, I did not want to turn my camera on. And I found myself not wanting to participate in the homework, the exercises, the community, our whale pod just completely shut down, which is not what I was expecting from myself. And it was really hard for me because I love community and I love people. And on Monday, so I went through the Sunday call, I went through the Monday call, and at the end of the Monday call, I was like, I'm gonna ask for my money back. This is not where I want to be right now. Um, and then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to wait for Tuesday. I'm just going to one more day. Let's see what happens. And I was like, oh, it didn't cost that much. Not big deal. Just one more day. And on Tuesday, we did this shadow work exercise. And I went through a couple different iterations of like my shadow side. And what I landed on is the avoidant avocado. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And like feeling like the little seed inside of like the avocado and just being in a space of wanting to be nurtured and loved and held and protected. And it was such a profound realization. And it was the start of me transforming out of that downward spiral. Um, and then let's see, looking at yeah, so feeling like inward and wanting to be nurtured. So then Wednesday, I stayed in the challenge because I was like, wow, this is really deep work. Wednesday, I went to Kit's coaching session, his group coaching session in the afternoon, and it was the first time in the challenge I had turned on my camera. And I was like multitasking and doing other stuff. And he was like doing an introduction and saying to think about things and visualize things and stuff like that. And again, I wasn't really participating. And then the last 30 seconds, I closed my eyes and I just became really present. And I was thinking about what he was saying. And then he said, let me know in the chat, what your challenges are, what you're working on, what you'd like support with. And I didn't put anything in the chat. And he said, and I'll call on someone. I'll just use my intuition and kind of feel into the room and call on someone. And I was like, don't pick me. Don't pick me. Don't pick me. Pick me. Pick me. Don't pick me. No, no, don't pick me. Don't pick me. Pick me. Don't pick me. So it was like back and forth. And of course, he called on me first. And so he was like, Serena. And I'm like, no. He's like, are you sure? And I'm like, no. So, um, what transpired was such a beautiful conversation, and I felt so loved and held and seen and protected. And between the shadow work with the avoidant avocado and the work that I did with Kit, um, I started to come out of that downward spiral. And I started seeing light at the end of the tunnel and started coming back home to myself, to who I truly am. And yeah, so that breakthrough shifted everything for me. And afterwards, I took an hour-long nap because my nervous system was like, okay, we need to process this, integrate this, and just kind of reset. And the next day, I took a nap, got up, did some work, did some stuff. And then the next day, I woke up from the most beautiful dream. Now, up until this point, I'd been having stressful dreams. Not a lot of nightmares. A couple of them were nightmares. Small percentage were nightmares, but a lot of them were just really stressful dreams where I'd wake up like clenching my teeth. And I'd wake up feeling stressed instead of waking up feeling like refreshed and happy and ready for the day. And it was a lot of life stuff, like business stuff, relationship stuff, just things going sideways in my dreams. But the next morning, I woke up from the most beautiful, magical dream where I was in this hotel, in this at the beach, really tall hotel. I was in a penthouse unit with a little pool, a big balcony, a beautiful big kitchen, 2 bedrooms, big living room. And I had invited some girlfriends. I think it was like in the Hamptons, even though this does not exist. It was, in my mind, it was like in the Hamptons. And I invited a bunch of my girlfriends from New York City to come out to hang out and friends who were out in the Hamptons on the weekend. It was summertime. And I remember thinking, I paid for this. I paid for this penthouse hotel room, this fancy 5-star expensive hotel. I have enough money in the bank to be able to pay for anything that I want to have. And it just felt so empowering. And a few people came, and then a few more people came, and then they invited some friends, and then it turned into a party. And it was just, it felt so good and so empowering. Um, because that's not something I can do right now. I mean, I could, but it would be very financially challenging. Whereas in that space, in that moment, it was a drop in the bucket. It was nothing. It was like, what a few $100s would be to me right now, even though it was like several thousand, maybe even tens of thousands, of dollars. And so then I started thinking about like reimagining, like from my shadow side to my empowered side. What does that look like? And I came up with the unifying unicorn. I love unicorns and unicorn energy. It's funny, when I was younger, I was like such a tomboy. I hated wearing dresses. I hated colors. I hated all of that kind of stuff. And then as I got older, I started kind of embracing pinks and embracing unicorns and embracing stuff like that. And so I saw myself as a unifying unicorn, bringing people together in community, creating that support, being that loving, nurturing person that I know I am, just like Kit was to me. And it was so empowering. And so I changed my Facebook profile photo to a photo of me as a unicorn from Halloween years ago. And the journey for me began, the journey of transformation. I mean, it began technically with the avoidant avocado, and then it progressed from there. And so that next day I had a positive, I had a, so that next day I had a challenging email that in the past would have totally sent me into a downward spiral. And instead I had a positive mindset around it. I was like, I got this, no problem. And I moved on with my day and I didn't let it get to me. And then so that was Thursday. So I decided to stop everything and cancel everything in my calendar and make Thursday a self-care day. And Thursday morning, I ordered a juice cleanse that I had been putting off ordering for like weeks. And I wanted to order that juice cleanse because I'd been dealing with a sugar addiction that I'd been working on kicking. And sugar addictions have come up repetitively in my life. And one of the things that I know has helped me in the past is resetting with a juice cleanse. And so I was like, order the juice cleanse. And then the other side of me was like, nah, it's not going to help anyway. Or why do that? Or I'm too busy. Or, all the excuses. I ordered that damn juice cleanse. I was so excited and proud of myself. And then I did a detox protocol and I did a whole bunch of things towards my self-care because my self-care had really been lacking, and that was part of my downward spiral. It was affecting my physical health, which was affecting my mental health, which was affecting my ability to take action, which was affecting my business, which was affecting my personal relationships. And so I really decided to focus on my health because I knew that was the one thing that could help to shift everything for me going forward. So I did an ionic foot bath. I sat on my PEMF mat. I researched blanket infrared sauna because I don't have enough space in my apartment for a physical sauna. And I just nourished myself and took care of myself. And I noticed the sugar cravings went away that day. And I've been reflecting on it because it's been a week now, and I'm realizing so many things. I've also been researching a lot around ADHD and ADHD, which is kind of a mix of autism and ADHD. And I was listening to a woman who was talking about how people with ADHD tend to use stimulants to relax ourselves. So, coffee and sugar and alcohol, and well, I guess alcohol is more of a relaxant, but anyway, different things, tobacco to relax our bodies. And I was like, I've been using sugar. I thought it was other reasons, but I've been using sugar to get rid of the anxiety, the underlying unconscious anxiety that I've been feeling. And by going through that coaching session with Kit, the anxiety left my body. And so I haven't had a sugar craving in a week. And I know they're not going to come back. And that's part of the reason I'm excited about being and continuing to be in this community, because I'm noticing that having a positive, loving, helpful community, having the support of coaches calms my nervous system and allows me to truly just be me, not masking who I am, pretending to be somebody, pretending like being the people pleaser, being the person that I think people want me to be. And so that was a huge breakthrough for me as well. Um, then I committed to hosting a free training. So I teach women how to find free money and resources for their business, how to secure those resources. And I hadn't done a free training, which is part of my sales funnel, since last fall. So I committed on Thursday. I'm like, 3 weeks from now, I'm going to host a training. 3 weeks from now, I'm going to host a training. And my body was like, I don't want to host a training. And I'm like, 3 weeks from now, I'm going to host a training. Doing all the things to prepare my mind, to prepare my body. And so I've chosen a date. It's going to be June 17th, I think. Yeah, Tuesday, June 17th, which I'm super excited about. And then let's see. So then Friday, so that was Thursday. Friday, I started planning the launch and putting all the things in place and asking for the support that I need. And then this week, let's see. Yesterday, I chose the date. So I did all the things I had to do to get myself to the point of choosing the date, chose the date. The juice arrived on Tuesday. So it's now Thursday. The juice arrived on Tuesday. I opened up this box full of juice and I was like, oh my God, what have I done? I do not want to do a juice cleanse. What was I thinking? And I told myself, I'm just going to stick it in the fridge and I'm going to choose. I've got 30 days. The juices expire in 30 days. I've got 30 days to choose when I do this juice cleanse. And then the next day I did a self-care day. And again, canceled everything. Woke up and I was like, I need to do self-care today. Canceled everything. And during that self-care day, I was like, I'm good to start the juice cleanse tomorrow. I'm really good with this. I haven't done a juice cleanse, I realized, in like 6 years, like pre-COVID, 6 or 7 years. And as I was doing the self-care yesterday, and as I was like, I'm okay to do this juice cleanse, and then I realized juice cleansing for me is going into ceremony. It's a type of ceremony for me, for my body, for my mind, for my soul, for my spirit. I heard someone mention psychedelics earlier as well. I'm a big proponent of psychedelics, and this is kind of like that for me. And so today starts the journey. I've got my juice here, and I'm so excited. I didn't even realize it was going to be the last day of the challenge that I was going to be starting my juice cleanse. It's all synergistic, kismet, amazing, magical energy. Someone said earlier something about picking a word for the year, and I think magical is the word I would be choosing. I think, no, magical is the word I'm choosing for this next 12 months. Because everything since this challenge started has been so magical, and I'm so grateful. Let's see, is there anything else? I think that's it. I think I hit all my bullet points. So,
Woohoo!
Rosie, thank you, Kit. Thank you, Lava Team. Thank you, community. Like every one of you has contributed, whether you realize or not, in such profound ways. Even those of you who are here and being quiet, like I was. Those of you who, you know, say stuff in the chat. Those of you who comment on the posts. Those of you who are in the community sharing your wins. Like the coaches have been so supportive and loving. I'm so grateful to you, Rosie, and to you, Kit, both for creating this magical container and this loving, safe space for all of us.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much, Serena. That was very powerful. Really appreciate you. I can't wait to get started with you.
Yay, I'm excited
Yeah.
too. Oh, and I wore my butterfly earrings today for transformation. I didn't even realize I just pulled them out of my
Aw,
drawer, and when I put them on, I was like, oh, I'm wearing transformational butterflies today.
very
Thank you,
cool.
universe.
Yes, that's perfect. Wow. Thank you, Serena.
Yay.